Welcome to the language briefing for all students taking one or more language modules in the Department of Modern Languages and European Studies at the University of Reading. The aim of this presentation is first of all to introduce to you some of the key concepts that inspire our language learning and teaching, and also to explain how such concepts are translated into practice within each language module. To start, click on the link that you see appear right now on the screen and watch this short animation which explains what is at the core of the language learning and teaching that goes on within our department. After you've finished, come back to this video to see how we implement those principles. So, have you enjoyed finding out about enthusiasm and what it means for us? Now, let us concentrate on the A of enthusiasm. Do you remember what it stands for in your part of the deal? Yes, that is correct. A stands for active participation. If you were at the briefing session, you will remember discussing what this means for you students. If you were not at the meeting, you may want to pause this video and jot down the first ideas that spring to your mind when you think about actively participating when learning a language. We intend active participation as the practice of enthusiasm, of interest and involvement in every aspect of language learning. What this means is that we want students to turn away from the focus on and worry about the mark that they will get for their work, and rather concentrate mostly on the process of learning, as languages are very much a subject that is learned by doing. So put aside your exclusive preoccupation with measuring how well you're doing and start thinking about and enjoying the doing itself. In practice, what does this mean? It means that you should fully engage in all the activities that concern your language module, in and out of class. It means that you should spend time practicing the various skills that are required to become a proficient user of the language you're learning, that is speaking, listening, reading, writing and translating. Also, it means fully engaging with the feedback that your teachers will be providing and being prepared to feedback, or rather forward, on the feedback you receive in order to reflect on what you can do to improve, and also to make the most of the guidance your teachers will offer you. It means developing the best strategies to take advantage of all the opportunities for independent learning. The assessment of your language modules, as well as measure how competent and proficient you are becoming in the language you're learning, will also acknowledge all these aspects of your active participation. Let me give an example of how this will happen. Let us look at the assessment structure of a typical language module. 20% of the final mark will come from your continuous assessment. Another 20% from the oral exam, which will take place at the beginning of the summer term. And the remaining 60% from the final written exam, also in the summer term. Enthusiasm comes into play in particular with the continuous assessment. The 20% is equally split between the autumn term and the spring term. In the autumn term, the 10% will come from the mark of an end-of-term class test, which will cover most of what you will have learned in that term in your language classes. This test will be marked out of 90. Another 10 marks will come from your active participation. The same goes for the spring term. How can you get 10 marks for active participation then? That is a sum of three things. First of all, you will have accrued at least 80% or more of attendance to class and homework, assignments done. Your teachers will keep track of that. Also, you will complete a portfolio of activities that will help you reflect on your language learning. These activities will take place twice a term. Your teachers will tell you when, and you will then submit your portfolio at the end of each term. So, attendance, homework, and a self-reflection portfolio. If you are a final year student, your main language module assessment is very likely to have a slightly different structure, whereby your continuous assessment will be worth 40%. In this case, each term will be worth 20%, 10 plus 10. In the autumn term, you will take 2 end-of-term class tests, each worth 10% of the final mark. The tests, again, will be marked out of 90. The marks will be averaged, and the remaining 10 marks will come from your active participation. The same again will happen in the spring term. All clear? I hope so. Before we get going with the enthusiasm and the active participation, a few points to remember. In order to be fair to all involved, your teacher will not be able to make your attendance count towards your active participation if you are more than 15 minutes late to class. The same applies if you submit your homework after the deadline set by your language teacher. Also, on top of your attendance and homework, if you fail to submit your self-reflection portfolio, you may lose the extra 10 marks for active participation. Remember, if your attendance or homework is falling below the 80% threshold, and you feel that this is the result of circumstances outside of your control, like poor health or other problems, you can submit an extenuating circumstances form accompanied by all relevant evidence to the member of staff responsible for these matters. The details are on your handbook, on Blackboard, and on the enthusiasm handout. Now, you have all the information and all the tools to start being enthusiastic, that is, involved and interested. So, happy language learning to all our students. From me, Enza Siciliano Verruccio, and all the language modules teachers. If you have questions, first ask your teachers in class. Alternatively, come to see me at one of my office hours. You will find details on my office door, or email me and I will try to help.